the ads are pretty bad. There's an ad out there this week that Richard Tissei just released that tries to make the case that I'm a darling of Wall Street. All right. Now let me just tell you a few facts. First of all, Richard Tissei gets 3 times the money from Wall Street that I do. 3 times. So while I'm proud to have support from across this country because this is a race of national importance, he has a single hedge fund billionaire who calls himself a fundraising terrorist who's given over $1 million to his campaign. So if you hear people talking about this out there, know that it's the most hypocritical ad that I've ever seen. When I worked at Goldman Sachs, I was a summer intern. So let's put that in perspective. And there's also a quote out there about fishermen. Well, I was quoting a fisherman when I said what I said. I was quoting a fisherman who said that he's tired of just getting federal disaster aid. We need a long-term solution to this problem. And that's why I'm so proud that several, almost half a dozen vote captains wrote into the Gloucester Times today and said that they are behind my campaign. So you need to know those facts when you go out there on the trail. Now, what are the 3 most important reasons why you should choose Seth Moulton over Richard Tissei in this race? The first is that we don't need a 30-year career Republican politician to change the dynamic of Washington, D.C. We have the most broken Congress in our nation's history, and we're simply not going to fix that by sending a 30-year career politician down to represent us. We need fresh ideas, a new perspective, different leadership. And that message is resonating with voters across the country. The second thing is that sending Richard Tissei to Washington will just be one more vote for the far-right agenda, for the agenda that does not represent our values here in Massachusetts. Richard Tissei has made it very clear that his first vote will be for John Boehner as Speaker of the House. And regardless of what moderates may or may not be in Congress today, it's the far right that is controlling the agenda. It's the far right that has shut down the government. It's the far right that is fighting against women's rights, against gay rights. Those are not our values. We ought to send someone to Washington who will represent our values, who will stand up for what's right and fight against the majority that is shutting down the government and fighting against women's rights and gay rights and trying to move us backwards, not forwards. So that's the second important reason. I think the third reason is that with everything going on around the globe today, with ISIS, with Ebola, with the prospect of sending ground troops back into Iraq or into Syria for the first time, the perspective of a veteran, I think, would be valuable. I don't think you have to be a veteran to run, but we've never had fewer veterans in Congress in our nation's history. We don't have a single combat veteran representing us from Massachusetts in either the House or the Senate. And as we're making these decisions, I think having someone with the experience and the credibility to ask the toughest question before we get drawn into another ground war in the Middle East is important to people today. Richard Tissei said in our first debate that he would give the president the benefit of the doubt, and I quote, the benefit of the doubt when it comes to putting ground troops into Iraq or Syria. Let me make it clear to everybody here. I will never give anyone in Washington the benefit of the doubt when it comes to putting young Americans into arms. So we can win this election, but it's up to all of you and to your hard work. And I'll leave you with this one thought. When I went to the polls on primary day, I was amazed by the number of people who came up to me and said, you know, Seth, I don't usually vote in primaries, but I'm here because my father told me I had to come out and vote for you. I'm here because my daughter said, you gotta go and vote for Seth. I'm here because my ornery uncle, who I can't stand when he brings up politics at the dinner table, said, you gotta go vote in this election. And that's what we need to have happen on Tuesday. We need to show up at the polls and have people come and say, you know what? I don't even usually vote. But I'm here to vote for Seth Moulton. I'm here to vote for Mark Copley. I'm here to vote for more healing. I'm here to vote to move this country forward, not backwards. I'm here to vote to represent our values, our Massachusetts values, which I think ought to be American values. Thank you very much.